from Wentworth Institute of Technology in Washington, Boston, United States. Dr. Polajimi, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Nigeria and especially to University of Ilorin. Let me use the opportunity to appreciate our Vice Chancellor, Professor Sulaiman Abdulkarim, for facilitating this, and the team that has worked behind the scene over the past months to ensure that the application went through. Dr. Mrs. Abikoye, I recognize and acknowledge you. Professor Malomo, the former Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, I recognize her input into making this happen. And because she's representing a great institution, Wentworth Institute of Technology, we believe this will be an opportunity for strong collaboration, not only with University of Ilorin, but with Nigeria as a whole. And for that to happen, we are excited to have the Dean of the School of Computing, who is sitting, so you would think she has always been here with us, Professor Dr. Suresh Menon, who has come to tell us about our university and all that she has to offer us. You can be sure that she's going to do more than we can ask, because she has seen many familiarity with the wider picture of what she knows. So it's my pleasure to welcome you, Madam, to University of Ilorin, Nigeria, and to welcome you to coordinate the open house on behalf of your university. Thank you very much and good morning. So all the participants, both physical and virtual, we welcome you again and say, please enjoy your day. At a critical time, we will allow you to contribute to this. Thank you very much and welcome. So the next thing on our program is that Dr. Yetunde Folajimi will be giving us an overview of why we are here. So Dr. Folajimi, over to you.
As the professor already said, this program is as a result of the Carnegie African Diaspora Program. Do I need to unmute yourself?
Yes, please unmute yourself. You have to start again.
Okay. So, Zoom, can you hear me now? Yes, my video is.
And we can hear her here. You just need to speak up for the audience here.
Okay. Yes, they can hear me. So. You can do that from the doctors. Okay. So thank you very much. It is my pleasure to be here, and I want to say that this program is a result of the Carnegie African Diaspora Grant, which we jointly received, Professor Ademola Popola and myself, not quite long ago. And I also want to recognize the fact that Professor Sulaiman Abdulkarim was also influential in connecting us together, because as a Nigerian myself, a daughter of the soil, and having spent most of my career life and young and adult life in Nigeria, I understand the needs, I understand the challenges, and I've been looking for a way of coming back to give to Nigeria. So this is an opportunity to give back, to give to Nigeria when I realized that there was a call for this African diaspora grant. And I thought this would be a great one. And my dean, Dr. Soret Renon, has been very passionate about being involved in diversity, inclusiveness. She's very passionate about that, especially bringing in the colored community, Black, Brown, into the Wentworth Institute of Technology, so that we can have a diverse community, because the university itself is very passionate about diversity and very supportive for diversity. So when this came in, we saw this as a great opportunity of having Wentworth into the system, because we want Wentworth, especially our school, we really want to increase diversity in computing and data science, because it is a challenge. And so when someone like me that is passionate about having the Nigerian community, the African community among my students, among my colleagues, so I don't want to just get to the class and see the same kind of people. I want to see people that are kind of people. I want to see people that are like me in terms of gender, in terms of color and everything. So because we have this mutual interest, and Wentworth is also supportive of this great initiative, we saw this as an opportunity that we can't afford to miss. And now she's here. As a matter of fact, she has been traveling and she will be traveling. So she's actually on her way to vacation and everything, but she's still making it to be here. So she's a very strong woman. And I'm very proud to be here with her to talk about Wentworth, because we know knowledge is power. And there is a common saying among us that people perish for lack of knowledge. So people have to be exposed to knowledge to understand that there are some things we consider impossible are actually possible if you have the right guide and direction. I don't want people coming after me to miss what I missed when I was navigating the path. So we are here to bring the knowledge, we are here to bring the network, we are hoping that this will be the beginning of a very long relationship. And I will now hand over to Dendoga to take it over from there, because she has a lot of things to share, a lot of information, things that you probably don't know exist in Wentworth and even in the United States, in terms of if you are looking for a career there, studentship and things like that. So I will hand over to her to take over the floor for her presentation.
Thank you, Itunde. I hope you all can hear me when I'm talking. Okay, wonderful. So my name is Durga Suresh Menon. Thank you so much for coming today. It's really exciting to be in Nigeria. I am originally from India, and I have been a professor at Wentworth Institute of Technology for a long time. And now as its dean, we as Itunde said, we saw an opportunity to come to Nigeria to talk to all of you about Wentworth and gauge interest and see how we can help make some of your educational dreams come true. So what I've got here as a presentation is kind of introducing who we are, what are the programs we have, and see what kind of interest you have and if there are any questions that we can answer. So you can stop me anytime during the presentation and ask me questions. Please feel free to do so. I am very good at being able to stop and restart again. So who are we? We are a school in Boston. Oh, this is not moving. Give me 1 second. I immediately went through technical difficulty. And we have a very wide portfolio of programs that we offer at Wentworth. What you see in front of you here is all of our undergraduate and graduate programs. We have 6 undergraduate programs in computer science, computer networking, applied mathematics, cybersecurity, information technology, and data science. And we also have grad programs in applied computer science, business analytics, data science, and cybersecurity analytics. So what does this mean? It basically means that we have programs that you can start and finish in 3 to 4 years. And if you're interested, you could do an accelerated master's. That's what you see in the bottom of the slides here, talking about how you can do both a bachelor's and a master's together. Now, in the couple of days that I've been in Nigeria, a lot of people have asked us the questions about what if I have started a program? So for those of you who have started a program and are thinking about continuing your program in the United States, we call you transfer students, that you transfer from one program to another. There are pathways of doing so. And so we can talk about it in detail later. So what are our programs? Now, if you're here, you are either going through a degree, looking forward to a degree, or you're in the middle of a degree. So what I will quickly do here is I will take you through what our programs look like and what we do in these programs that will help with your interests. So the computer science program is a very traditional computer science program. It's very programming based, it's very math based, and students learn a lot of different kinds of courses, and you can actually truly create depth in one of these areas that you see here. So in the bottom, in the computer networking program, you'll see that we do very hands-on work, extremely hands-on work. We are building things. It is not as programming based as it is routing, switching, and networking based. And some of the pictures that you're seeing here are actual student projects that have been done before. And we have a data center, and we have many state-of-the-art labs that you actually do hands-on education. Our applied math program, this is something that is very unique at Wentworth. I know that a lot of people think about economics and accounting to be banking majors. At Wentworth, this is our big banking major because we have a concentration in actuarial sciences or financial math that lets you go work in banks or in insurance companies that actually determine the length of somebody's life, or it's very complicated math. So our applied math program is very heavy on being able to not just do mathematics, but apply mathematics. And you will see here that we have a concentration in financial mathematics. We also heavily lean on data science in our programs. And this is one of, yes. No, they want it bigger. Everyone online, if you could please bear with us. We're trying to make the presentation a little bit bigger here. Can you reduce your volume of that? It's not muted. Volume on your laptop, it is the volume. No, I can hear myself. Is that better? Is that better? Oh, wonderful. I can actually go back to applied mathematics so you guys can look at this. In the United States and in the rest of the world, one of the big needs is for people who can take large amounts of data and do something useful with it. So our applied math program and our data science program are very heavily leaning on actually being able to do something with large amounts of data. One of the big catches right now is the amount of earning potential when you come out of these programs. And an actuary, and I'm hoping that you all have heard of the word before, an actuary is somebody who works in an insurance company. And in order to become an actuary, you have to take 10 exams. And out of the 10 exams, we actually finished 3 exams with the students during the 4 years in college. So we are actually getting ready to go into the field with the and then cybersecurity, I'll actually stop for a second. We very much pride ourselves on our cybersecurity program because our cybersecurity program is not just a technical major. You will see here that we talk about not just platform and processes, but we are very heavy on people. How does it affect people? What is the governance behind it? What is the law and policy behind it? And then to be able to use what you're learning in the classroom effectively when you go to work. Our brand new program that we have started this year is our BS in IT, our information technology program. You are all Nigerians. You know the growth in infrastructure that is happening right here in your country. It's happening all over the world. The problem is everything is growing in infrastructure, but we don't have people who can talk about it. And this degree came out because our industry partners came to us and said, we have nobody who can talk to people. There is the programmer. I love that today is a great example of this. The IT people are the ones who run everything. They are the blood soul of every organization. And it is very important for us to understand that this job is becoming more important as technology is growing. So our IT concentrations, we have 4 different concentrations. We are very interested in doing network infrastructure, information technology operations in order to like run a call center of sorts that takes care of infrastructure, health informatics, because that is the next technologies that are coming up, healthcare. And then we are also thinking about project management for people who are interested in the management aspect of IT. One of the things that is very interesting about this slide is when we started doing our research, we saw that between 2020 and 2030, there is going to be a 13% growth just in the United States for IT. And that roughly translates into 250,000 jobs just in the US. And this is not taking the entire world into consideration. Our data science, you all have heard of this word. We are the School of Computing and Data Science. Data science is the #1 job in many countries. Our research also led us to the same conclusion that it's not only the #1 job in the United States, it's also the #1 paying job in the United States. Our data science program is 50% computer science and 50% mathematics. So very heavy on computing and mathematics and finding that crossroads. Okay, you've got a lot of data. What do you do now? So it helps with different aspects of data science, whether it's decision-making or data visualization or data management. And you'll see here that in the picture, a lot of core competencies also come from computer science and mathematics. So we have taken the cores of both our applied mathematics program and our computer science program, combined it, added statistics and data visualization to it. And what we have is the data science program. That is all of our undergraduate programs. I can summarize all of our graduate programs in one slide. And the most important thing about grad education, especially because we are here in the University of Ilorin, and I'm assuming a lot of you are in the undergraduate programs thinking about going for grad school to the United States, we have extremely flexibly delivered STEM programs. So what does it mean for an international student to come to a STEM school? Usually, when you come to the United States, you get 1 year of work permit when you finish your graduate degree. If you come to a STEM designated school, you get the 1 year and then a 2-year extension in order to stay and work in the United States without worrying about visa. So that is what is the big deal about our STEM programs. And we have 4 of them: applied computer science, business analytics and data science, and cybersecurity analytics. They all have on-campus options. We all have admission requirements to all of them. I know that Associate Dean Amy Sisson is going to take us through all of the graduate requirements. What do you need for paperwork? What do you need to do? So you'll be able to see, and on the right-hand side, we actually have told you what is a prerequisite. For example, to come into our computer science program, we would like you to have a background in computer science. But if you have no background in computer science, we actually have a 3-year program for anybody with a bachelor's program in any discipline. So in 3 years, we are able to bring you from not being in computer science to becoming a master's in applied computer science. And then our business analytics program and our data science program both are require you to have some background in STEM. And our cybersecurity analytics program requires you to have a background in cybersecurity. Again, I would like to state that we are very transfer friendly. And as we think about our partnership with the University of Ilorin, we're thinking about what other means can bring you to study in the United States. One of the big questions I've been asked since I've got to Nigeria is, how do we fund? And Dr. Folajimi is going to talk a lot to you about how to fund your education, what are the scholarships available. But we started looking at, as we were coming to this event, people talking about money, and we started looking at how are we compared to a lot of other schools in the United States. We are in a very nice price point. So we believe that we are able to give you a quality education at an affordable price. And when Amy talks, you will see all the requirements that you need to meet in order to do this. Our students are getting really good jobs. We have very high placement rates. I want to tell you something. If I'm going to tell you one thing about Wentworth, the one thing is we make people ready for a career. We are not making people ready to go into a PhD program. We are not making people ready to go into necessarily a master's program. We take our students where they are and we are making them career ready. Like, you should be able to go to a job right after you graduate. That is our main focus at Wentworth. And what this shows is how much of our students are getting jobs when they graduate and where they're going to actually work. Some of these companies should be familiar to you, like the one that looks like an apple. But the idea here is that we are in the hub in the middle of Boston. And so we have all the big companies in the area, and you're able to find really good paying jobs and really good fulfilling jobs in the Boston area. Wentworth is not just about only studying. We have a lot of support services. We have a lot of other series that we do to truly prepare you to be an international student in Boston. So some of the things that you see here is that we help you get ready to go find a job. We help you with meeting people and networking. We help you with academic support. We are able to give you advising services and true access to the faculty. Where is Boston? Everybody, we are one of the biggest educational hubs in the US. I've been hearing about what Lagos is and what Abuja is. We are the education capital of the United States of America. We are in the heart of the city. We are not 45 minutes away. You get off the airport, Wentworth is 15 minutes away. So we are right there in the city. I had the privilege of travel and being able to see lots of parts of the world. I grew up in India and then I went to the US. We live in one of the most beautiful places on earth. I can tell you that with confidence, traveling and seeing places. And there are so much educational institutions in the area that you truly feel like it is a college town. And that's our name. We are actually called America's College Town. So this is a place where you can come and grow both intellectually, personally, and professionally. So we're very proud of where we come from in the United States. I know that all of you have a lot of questions. I'm going to take some questions now. But the most important thing here is our email address that is here. And that is our school's email address. It comes to my entire office. So we will be able to answer questions for you. Professor Folajimi is also going to be sharing her email address. Nobody is more interested in all of you coming to the United States than this person here. She just wants to put all of you, she just wants to take all of you to Wentworth. So, and she's got a very vested interest. I've been with her for the past 3 days, looking at her interactions with people. And I'm just amazed and awed. I'm just very happy to be here. I'm going to hand it over to Amy next, right? Amy's going next.
Question first.
Yes. Why don't we take some questions? Amy, jump in if you find a very specific admissions question. Otherwise, I'm going to try to answer any questions. What questions do you have for us? Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm interested in
Okay.
so,
It's undergraduate, yes. It is only for right now. We don't know what our future holds. The need has just come up now that actuarial sciences is almost a dying field, except we need it as the world's population is growing older, but we don't have it. So it's a very big area of need, but we only have it in undergrad at this time.
this program is for all Nigerians.
Come again? This, yes. Yes, anybody who is interested. Other questions? Are you looking at the chat box?
Yes, there is a question from a participant here. Thanks for this beautiful and well-informative presentation, Ma. As a statistician, how can I secure a placement for sabbatical leave in the US, either in your institution or industry, and what are the benefits?
I think that is we have had a lot of faculty members ask us questions about sabbaticals in the United States. We are looking to explore Fulbright options. I think whoever asked the question should contact Jimmy and ask for more details.
Great. Please, Alabi Wahid is the one that asked the question. So yes, we can follow up with me, and then we'll give you further information about the Fulbright option, which we are exploring for that, because there has been a lot of questions about that actually.
Oh, okay, ma. Thank you.
Yes, we will.
The slides will be shared. Yes,
I think you're actually sharing the recording. You won't be sharing just the slides, but we'll be sharing the recording.
Yeah, we will share the recording as well as the slides, because the question has also occurred in the...
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
I have a PDF question.
PDF.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
There's also a question about, okay, that's not...
Can you hold on to the question? Yes. No, we do not. We are just bachelor's and master's right now. We don't have a postdoc program.
And I can also ask that question, answer that question indirectly. If you explore some grants or either from the business fund or things like that, and then you have that opportunity to come and maybe officially spend 1 year with us, which is also like a Fulbright grant or something, even if you explore that, right? As long as you get something that will enable you to get occupied legitimately with us, of course, we can. I mean, since you are coming to teach under a grant that is not for your... Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Data science, especially data science. All engineers fit into our data science program. Because I think it's also the Indian in me that says that our programs are extremely math heavy. So any engineering program is also a lot steeped in math and calculus. So yes, absolutely. Electrical engineer would be a perfect fit for data science.
Now, this, some people are attending virtual. They're not going to be hearing you. So we're going to figure out, yes, and I don't want them to miss out on this session.
I can repeat your question, please.
Me on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. The data science Nigeria effect. There we were told that anyone that is not in data science can fit in any aspect data science because of the analytics and other things that any field you come from, you would be able to fit into data science, not necessarily programming or heavy mathematics.
I think different data science programs are constructed different ways. Our data science program is constructed for anybody from a STEM background. And every time I say the STEM background, I'm talking about calculus-based math. So if you don't come from a STEM-based background, and you come, yesterday somebody asked me, I have an accounting degree. How do I fit into data science? There was a big question that was asked yesterday. And I said that's why we have the business analytics degree, because if you're in accounting or economics, you're more on the business side of things. What you have here, no, I'm not. There you are. She's checking to see that I'm not muted. I am not muted. I'm sure that the online participants would have told us otherwise. So our business analytics program is half data science and half not math-based data science. So that's why we have the two programs, and we always put them together, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do business analytics. But I'm like, if your background is in accounting, you can do the business analytics program. We actually wanted to call it data science light. We were told that's a very bad name. So we called it business analytics. Yes.
I am an question. So I just saw this thing online and I registered. If I want to do my master's, then will I be able to retain any of these?
An industrial chemist, I can't wait to see your transcript. No, I do not know. I do not have the answer to that. I'm very good at saying I do not know. I do not know the answer to that. I need to see your transcript to know what kind of math you have. Can I say easily you might fit very well into our business analytics program? Yes. But if it is computer science, cybersecurity, or data science, we would like to see your transcript. We want to know what math background you have. And I will tell you this, a lot of people are like, oh, so you can't take me in your program? And my answer to you always is this. When you come to, I want to talk about the United States. When you come to my school, I need you to be successful. This is not about taking your money and bringing you to a country and having you go, what the heck am I doing here? That is not our aim. Yetunde will kill me. We want you to come. We want you to be successful. We want you to come back and recruit more people for us. That's our dream. So it is very easy to say, yeah, come on over. No, people, that's not how we do business. We are not here to cheat you out of anything. We want you to come and we want you to be successful. So that's why I always say, no, I need to look at your transcript. I have a admissions committee sitting in Boston, Massachusetts, who will look at your transcript and say, can this student be successful in our program? Are we making them to come? And after the first semester, you're like, what am I doing here? We do not want that. I was an international student in the United States. That would be the worst service I could do. That is the most amount of disservice I can do to all of you. So no. In the School of Computing and Data Science, we bring you to succeed. And we want you to make a lot of money because we look good. We have a 3-year applied computer science program. The first year, we teach you everything computer science. It is very hard. It is very intensive. But we teach you all the computer science you want for your undergrad. Like if we take the entire undergrad CS program and fit it in 1 year. It is extremely intense. When we get the applications, we recently had somebody who is coming from Turkey, and he's like, yeah, I want to come and do 3-year program. His bachelor's is in business, and he has got no math. He's got one math class called business math. So we said, are you sure you want to do this? And he was like, yeah. But remember, people, when you come to an intensive program like that, this is not like an evening class. It is every day. You meet with your faculty. It is extremely intensive. You are in the lab every day. You will have your faculty member with you every single day. And you only take 2 classes, but the classes are extremely intensive in the first year. So you can say you want to do it. We ask you a lot of questions as to, are you ready? Other questions? Do you guys want to know a little bit about the process so that Amy can? Yes, that is the most important thing. I'm telling you, I tell you about the programs. Amy tells you exactly how to get there. So I would like to hand it over to Amy. And Amy should be able to share, right? Okay.
As a statistician, interest in statistical machine learning. I already had a PhD in computational statistics in genomics.
Why? You already have a PhD. Don't pursue a master's degree. Don't waste your time.
I guess
I am actually opening Amy's presentation. Amy, I have your presentation open here. I'll do the slides here in person, and then you can do the slides on Zoom. Where is Amy?
She has not joined.
No, she will share. So leave this. She will come on Zoom. Oh. Were you able to find her? Oh, she's coming right down. Just a couple of minutes. She's jumping right down. Yep. Is there any other questions I can answer in the meantime? This side is very quiet. I know I'm very good at my presentation. It's okay. I always do that in class too. When I finish my lecture, nobody has questions. I say, it's all right, it's all right. I know I'm very good.
Let me see, I can offer it.
It's a master's level. Our business analytics and data science is master's level. We also have data science in undergrad.
For the education. Don't know.
Undergraduate is 4 years, graduate is 2 years.
So,
and I think the most important thing is understanding the timeline. So if you ask me, when is the earliest time each and every single one of you can get to Wentworth? It is September of 23. The reason, the visa processing time in Nigeria takes a long time. So somebody who has an I-20 today, they are getting dates in March. So that is the earliest they're giving dates in USCIS. No. Visa is the longest, most arduous process that you'll do. But please note this: if you apply to a program at Wentworth, you are assigned a person to talk to. Her name is Kaylee Baker. She's not here today. She's on vacation back in the US. And you will see that Associate Dean Sison is going to tell you about the process. But the most important thing is, please understand that it takes time. And there's 2 steps to the process. Step 1 is you have to first apply and get admitted. Step 2, you have to submit your financials to get the I-20. If you get accepted and don't do financials, no visa. So it's 2-step process. The first step comes to us. We have to admit you in the program. That's us. Then we are done. We step back. Admissions comes forward. And admissions tells you the financial documentation that you need to present in order to get the I-20. And then you get the I-20, you go to the consulate, you get your visa, and then come to the US. And I am telling you that today, if you go to USCIS and say, I got admitted into Wentworth, give me a date. The earliest date is, what did he say? March 6, 2023. So please understand, coming to the US is a Amy will tell you it's an 18-month journey. Is she in? Can you please let her in? Yes. I'm sorry, speak up again. I am waiting for her to come on. Amy, let's go. It says host disabled and she can't unmute either. Can you please unmute Amy and give her camera privileges? Make her host. The beauty of the internet. We talk from here to there. Amy, are you in?
I'm on. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. All right. Let me see if I can.
I see that your camera is not enabled yet.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
There we are.
Hello.
Hi. All right.
So you should be able to share screen. And what I'll do here is, actually, if you just start sharing screen, they should be able to see you. Oh, yes. What can I be to be a certified data science? What? Finish the sentence.
What can I do to be a certified data scientist?
There's no certified data scientist. Get a degree in data science. Maybe. It's very different in every single country. We are actually, just like I'm visiting Nigeria, I'm going to India in November. And in India, certifications are becoming a really big thing. For some reason, in the United States, we are still not as big on certifications. We are big on certificates, but not big on certifications.
So I think the full question is, I understand there are some software such as SQL, AWS, etc. that are peculiar to being a data scientist. What will you advise, Ma, if you would discourage one from having masters in data science after a PhD in statistics?
Well, I think the PhD in statistics person just needs a couple of courses. And most of this that you're talking about are tools. They are not software, they're just tools. And you already have a PhD in statistics. Just learn the tools.
If you already have a PhD in statistics, you don't need a master's in data science anymore. You are right, there are courses that you can do even online and get.
Wait, they have a PhD in statistics. Are you looking for a job?
Actually,
I need a statistician.
Our school is not just made of people that have computer science, or data science. We're a mix of people from mathematics, from different backgrounds.
This is a very good time to say. You asked about a postdoc, which means you have a PhD. In the next couple of months, for all of you with PhDs here, Wentworth will be opening jobs. Please apply. I am looking for statisticians. So, excuse me, person who has got PhD in statistics, I don't know who you are. Please apply.
You want to take my job?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
I mean, no. Boston is very nice, everybody. Oh, Kristen, I found you. Yes. You are what? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You're a medical student. Yes. You don't. You're a medical student. Go save lives. You don't need data science.
Yeah.
Yes, SAS is a tool. Again, they were talking about SQL. They talk about AWS. They talk about SAS. There is R and there is Python. Yes, they are available. When you become a doctor, do a degree in data science. You will be the most sought after human on the planet Earth.
Yes, actually, if you are really good, I think I spoke with him during my interaction with students. Was it you? Oh, that means so many medical people are interested because I know
medicine has got so much data. And they don't know what to do with all this data. So having a data science background helps.
With medicine, with medical background, if you take a higher degree in computer science, in data science, Actually, you will be an envy of all your medical colleagues because that is the future.
In applied computer science, yes. Yeah. Yes. All the masters are for people like you. No, he's not a PhD yet.
No,
I will take him on.
It's medical students.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, really?
There is a question here.
Why don't we do it after Amy's
Okay,
time?
I think we
Let
should
us give
let
Amy her
Amy.
time.
Yeah.
Everybody, it is early morning in Boston. Dean Sisson has kind of work to do. I'm in Nigeria. She's there. She has to work. I want to give her the chance to go through because I know you're going to have a lot of questions for her. Amy, as long as you can give us, that's great. And then when you are done and you say you have to go to another meeting, I can take over.
All right.
You all agree that we should keep her.
No!
You are not talking. That we should keep her.
Amy is dead.
Amy is there?
Amy is dead.
No. Everybody, Amy needs me. Can you stop
All right.
that, Amy?
Are we ready?
Yes, we are. I'm going to try.
She's already on spotlight.
Can I get them? You're not. Amy, can you speak up? We're trying to hear you.
Okay, I will be as loud as I can be. Is this good?
Amy, hold on. They're able to see you. Your slides are moving. They're not able to hear you. Amy, we are not able to hear you clearly yet. Can you try?
Okay.
Can you try to speak again?
Can you hear me now? No?
I'm able to hear her, but it's very weak. Say something now.
Can you hear me? All right. Let me see if I can get my mic really close to me. See if that helps.
No, it's actually good.
Okay. So again, I'm Amy Sisson. I'm the Associate Dean for Graduate Enrollment at Wentworth. I'm assuming you guys have already heard a little bit about Wentworth. We're located in Boston. But let me give you a little bit more of an overview. Nope. So these are just a few of the recognitions that Wentworth has had in the last few years, ranked in U.S. News and Report as one of the best regional colleges in our northern region of the United States, one of the best engineering programs, and a great value. And I really want to emphasize this point. Wentworth takes pride in how we prepare our students for careers, and that puts us above a lot of other institutions on our value. So you're going to get a real great return on your investment when you come to Wentworth. Sorry, my mouse is not, here we go. Here are all the graduate programs that we offer. I know I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if you guys are too. Can you hear me okay still? I'm getting a little bit of an echo. I don't know, Tunde, I don't know if it can be help. So here are all of our graduate programs. We have a Master's of Architecture, Applied Computer Science, Civil Engineering, Computer Engineering, Cybersecurity Analytics, and Electrical Engineering. All of those programs are STEM designated, which means when you apply for OPT post-graduation, you can stay in the United States for up to 3 years under that OPT, and your employer doesn't need to sponsor you for your visa. So that's an important designation and gives you that extra time to gain more valuable experience in the US. We also have the MS in Data Science, MS in Business Analytics, and Construction Management and Project Management. Right now, we are only offering graduate degrees, master's degrees. I know I saw a couple questions about PhDs, but right now we are focused solely on master's programs. Some of the highlights of our graduate programs, most of the programs can be completed in 1 year. I would say most of our international students choose to do the programs in 2 years. We're located in the heart of Boston, which is home to some of the fastest growing companies and nonprofits in the country. So you have access to a lot of great employer opportunities right here in Boston. We also have a great alumni network at Wentworth. About 37,000 active leaders in industry in Boston and really around the world. Our tuition is affordable. When you compare us to other private institutions, you'll see that we're one of the more affordable options in the US. We also have scholarship opportunities. I did see one of the questions came up was about funding. We don't fully fund any students for master's programs, but we do have merit-based scholarships. So what that means is we will look at your academic transcripts and on a sliding scale give you a scholarship, which ranges on the high range is usually about 20% of your tuition. So not a fully fund, but still a significant amount. We have very small class sizes and very accessible faculty. So another important point is we are a small institution and you're going to really get one-on-one attention from your faculty members who are also connected to industry. So that's a great opportunity for you to network and get a job possibly post-graduation, is that connection that you're going to make with your faculty at Wentworth. In a lot of other programs at larger schools, you end up being taught mostly by graduate students and not by full-time faculty. And at Wentworth, the opposite is true. You're going to have a faculty member there helping you along the way. We also offer graduate housing at Wentworth. So if you're concerned about where am I going to live if I come to the US and how I'm going to know which area to live in, and is that going to be a safe area and whatnot, we can house you right here on campus, make it very easy for you. You won't have to worry about transportation or any of that. Everything will be right here. We have kind of a small compact campus too, which is nice. You're not going to be walking long distances to get to class every day. We also are very accessible by we call it the T in Boston, which is in this picture here, which is our train, our public transportation train. So another nice aspect of Wentworth is that you can get all around the city very easily, right from the hub here at Wentworth. How to apply. So this link at the top will bring you to a page to apply, and I'll pop that in the chat as well so that you have it easily accessible. But our application is open now for our 2023 terms. I think I heard the dean speaking earlier about when to apply. You should apply now to get all of your paperwork and everything together and ready for the fall of 2023, especially because of the long wait times we're hearing about at the consulate. If you applied today and finished your application today, we would turn around, get you an admissions decision within 2 weeks, and then work with you on your I-20 and getting that information together. And I'll show more about that on the next page. So the sooner the better. You can get everything organized throughout the year versus trying to rush and probably not having enough time if you wait too long. The application fee is $50, but we are offering you this application waiver code. So INTL will waive your application fee when you go on that website. And I'll pop that in the chat as well so that you don't go home without it, because that's a nice offer as well to save a little bit of money. The required documents to apply, we will need your official transcripts. We can review your application with unofficial transcripts as long as we have an official credential evaluation, which is lower down on this list. That's where it says the WES, CED, or SpanTran. Those are 3 companies that will evaluate your international transcripts and put them in the US system so that we know what your GPA would be in the US versus in your home country. So we do need that official evaluation to issue you an admissions decision. We also need a resume, a letter of recommendation, which can come from either a professor or an employer, a statement of purpose, which is going to talk a bit about why you want to do the program. So it's just a brief statement on what your career goals are and why you would like to do the program. We will waive the proof of English proficiency. You'll see that come up as a requirement applying as an international student, but if you're applying from Nigeria, we waive that requirement for you. I see a little note in the chat asking about the difference between the official transcript and the WES evaluation. So your official transcript is in your home country's school system. So our GPA calculations and your GPA calculations are different. And so that's why we need to see both. We need to, have that official documentation that you completed your degree, but we also need an evaluation service to translate that into our US system. So I hope that makes sense. And what else do we need? A copy of your passport and your financial documents, which we'll get into on the next page. We do not require the GRE or the GMAT, which is also a huge benefit for students applying to Wentworth. Most schools in the US, you would have to take those exams and take spend the additional money and time to do that, but we waive those requirements. The I-20 process. So this is something we get a lot of questions about. My team, as Durga was saying earlier, Kaylee will help you through this process every step of the way. So don't worry if you don't remember every bit of what I'm telling you. We're going to help you through this process once you've been admitted. So once you've been admitted, we have a declaration of finance form on our website. That form, in conjunction with a bank letter, is how we will be able to issue your I-20, and then you will bring all that documentation to the consulate to get your visa to come into the United States. The bank letter has to be in English and less than 6 months old on bank letterhead. And the proof of funds could be your own personal funds or a sponsor. So if you have a family member who's willing to sponsor you to further your education, then you can have that documentation on the form and their bank letter, or a loan, any proof of what we would say is like liquid funds. So you have to prove that you have enough money in the bank ready to go to pay for that first year of your education. And it's not just the tuition amount, it's all of your housing, room, board, books, all of that. So it comes out to be about $65,000 US that you have to prove on that form. If we give you a scholarship, then that comes off of that amount. So if you get 10 grand scholarship, then you'd only have to show 55,000. And I'm happy to answer more questions about that later. You do have to make your enrollment deposit before we issue you an I-20, and that's a $250 enrollment deposit. And then once we have all of your paperwork and that deposit, we'll issue your I-20 within 3 days and send it to you electronically, so you can make that appointment at the consulate very quickly. Again, with the long wait times, that's an important factor. That's actually all I have for my presentation. If you have any questions about the admissions process or the finances or how any of that works, you can email us at gradadmissions@wit.edu. I can pop that in the chat as well, and it will get to whoever it needs to answer your question. But I'm also open to stay and answer some questions now. Oh, Yutunde, you're on mute.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Emmy. Oh, you need to mute your body. There is Sadiq Yunus raising his hand on Zoom. So I'm going to, okay, can you share your question by text, by chat? So while you are doing that, I will just read what we have on chat, unless if anybody wants to ask a question right here. If you have any question for the Dean of the Associate Dean of the school, of graduate school. Okay, so maybe I'll go back to your, questions that are lined up for you, Doga, and then, okay. Yes. I would like to know if there is full funding for masters in data science.
There is not. So we don't fully fund any of our master's degrees.
Okay.
Amy, do you want to address this with the scholarships and the fellowships that are merit-based?
Yeah, so we do have merit-based scholarships. Again, probably the top amount comes out to be about 20% of your tuition. And that would be for the, the very top students. And we also have some fellowship opportunities available, and those are about $4,500 for the year, and you work within the school and are paid an hourly amount as you work through the program. So that's also a fellowship opportunity to increase your funding. And I see you had a question about transcripts. That's been an issue really the last 2 years. We've had a lot of issues with students being able to get transcripts because schools are closed, or there's just a lot of different factors. I would suggest reaching out to Spantran. That company helps verify transcripts. So if you have a copy of your transcripts already, they may be able to help you verify them through their process versus having to reach out to a school that's closed and having to wait an extended period of time. But unfortunately, we can't waive that requirement altogether, but we can try to help you verify your transcripts.
Are there opportunities for elective courses that can be taken by our undergraduate students for 1 to 3 months?
4 months. Our semester is 4 months long. So no, there's no courses that we take for 1 month.
Full semester.
Is there an opportunity for like same program and direct like the best students in our faculty?
Not at this time. We are going to work on it. We're hoping that that's what we are going to do.
We actually are invested in this study abroad program. If you want to tell them more about that. Like
the graduate students not studying.
Oh, is that for graduate students?
They can come and we have a study abroad program. So we try not to use the word exchange, because exchange basically means you send students, we have to send students. We don't talk about exchange. I don't know if you all know this or not. American students tend to stay very close to where they want. So they're very regional students. Are there adventure students who will not get? So let's say you want to send 10 students. I have to we use the word study abroad. You can come and study abroad for 1 semester. And Amy just doing the tuition information, you can go and find out how much every course is, how much every credit is, and you can take care of that. So what that is study abroad. It's 1 semester, 4 months. I need to study so the problem with study, I think this is the problem because it is cost for you. If you are a study abroad student, there are no scholarships, there is nothing. You can't come and work on campus. You can't come and do a fellowship. You come, you study, go. And you have to take other things.
Yes. Well, I believe where we're going with R and then is that we would with faculties beyond the management that is already listed. Is that I'm looking at my hope and aspiration within. I'll be able to have joint courses, that we can do where we build capacity, because that was part of the whole idea of the diaspora fellowship that we have. And I believe now that she has come, she has to actively work on it, which was not already doing. That's beyond the one that has come. There will be a way to work with certain faculties in our various areas of collaboration, and we can get involved from there. But one of the things I'm going to be discussing with her, which I'm saying openly now, as we go later, is she's going to get us to have a data center, a proper data center that can support artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all of that. She's going with all of that, and she's going to have to go and work on this, having been there to drink the water.
So actually, maybe when we talk about the grants and something, things, because yesterday when we started this program, it really took an interesting, it was more like a family meeting, where we sat on a round table to discuss, right? Because I was born here, I grew up here, I know what obtains and what doesn't obtain. I know the challenges and how difficult it is for us, or even our own people to fund us, right? Because yesterday she was knowing for the first time that we don't even have something called student loan, where students can just go to the bank and say, okay, I just got an admission to a university abroad. I'm going to take a loan of so amount. And then when I graduate from college, I'm going to start, when I start working, I'm going to start paying back. No, it doesn't exist. So this is something, and I believe this is also going on social media. So maybe the banks are hearing, or because this is a great thing that is obtainable in many countries, right? So which means we have to I'm thinking, my presentation will be more tilted that we want to hear from you, and the world will hear from you, because we are putting this out so that they will know what are your problems and challenges. Investors may want to see this is an opportunity, because if international community is doing it, she said something about in our country, before she immigrated to the United States 23 years ago, 25 years ago. Okay, yeah. So before she immigrated so many years ago, she said that her country was like Nigeria, what she saw in Nigeria the past 2 days or 3 days, but that there is hope, there is future for Nigeria. Sometimes even the bank, they don't know that this could work, and this is a business win-win thing for them. Because if you train people and they become better person, they make good money, they will pay you back your money with interest. So, but you have to prepare that ground. But if you're also training people, if you refuse to train people and they end up not getting a job, they end up being armed robbers or whatever, the bank will suffer. So they should look at it from that way, from that angle. So maybe they are not looking at it, and this is why we're having this kind of forum.
And the potential in Nigeria is extremely amazing. I got on at Lagos, I studied immigration, I shared with a bunch of Americans, and it really seemed like very uncomfortable. And I was like, wow, this is like India. When I was growing up. So I think that is the journey of the developing country. We are developing. Nigeria is in the forefront of development. It is so amazing. The energy that we have in the country is powerful. And I cannot tell you how exciting it is for someone like me to come and see. And it's very easy for me to say, oh my God, you have no idea where you're going. Because I went through this in India. This is exactly where India was 25 years ago. And the speed in which you see India has developed, that is the same potential. And now the information is going to be even faster for Nigeria. So there is so much potential. So just bear with it. It is going to change, and it's going to change forever.
Okay, so I think this next question is for Amy. Actually, maybe she would be. Oh, really? Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
If you guys have no other questions for Amy would like to jump to our next meeting. Do you have any questions for Amy? I'm sorry?
Scholarship.
Scholarships. We want to be very clear. Maybe I can take over from here or talk here next meeting. We do have scholarships, and the scholarships are 100% merit-based, not need-based for undergraduates. So graduate and undergraduate. So we look at who you are, what have you done in your previous studies. So you come in as a 18-year-old, we look at how did you do in the final year of high school. If you're coming in as a newly minted medical student, you see how do you do as a medical student. And then based on that is how we give the scholarship. I'll be honest with you, our scholarships are not 70%, 80%. The average has been 20%. But that is just a scholarship with a statement of diffusion. Then there are fellowships, which is also merit-based, which is coming and working in the school, in our school, like Professor Fauci. Now, there's something that we do not do, which is also when we do it. We talk to you about 4 graduate programs. When Amy talked to you, you saw there are more graduate programs that we do have. If you go to Wentworth's website, you can see all our graduate programs, and all graduate programs have different requirements. We'll be able to go through them, but the visa process is the same no matter which program you are.
And the question is, on graduate school require someone from that advisor there before?
No, because we are not research-based, we are job-based. We want you to go get that job. So you don't need to find an advisor. We will assign an advisor to you. I'm speaking up because I am muted.
This is also a good question. Is it possible to attend an IT program called CWAS, which is for the 3rd year of computer undergraduate program? The program is for 6 months. Thank you, ma'am. That is 4. So tell them.
No what?
No, for undergrad.
Oh, so if you go to Wentworth's website, you will be able to see that in our undergraduate degree, we have something called as co-op. It basically means that you must go work outside and apply the skills that you're learning in class outside. It is a part of the visa. So you don't have to apply for any new visa. The part of education you're able to go out. Some 6 months is 2 to 4 months.
So
actually similar to the question I posed. We have undergraduate students who are actually in their program. They actually they can do the course in your own institution.
No.
You have to be like our regular students, undergrad with the 4 years track or maybe 3 years track. So do a co-op. And the co-op, there are 3 of them. Our school is 3 semester per session school. So it is not 2 semester. So our students are always busy around the year, either doing a co-op in summer semester or fall semester, so whatever, but they are always busy.
Our 3 semesters are January to April, May to August, September to December. So you go from January 11 to April something, you get a 3 weeks break. Then you come May 6th, April 10th, you get 3 weeks break. Then so there's never like, unless in the first and second year, you get up to 4 months break. Third and 4th year, no break. We want you to be working. So the 3rd and 4th year, you're actually going to be working. Working is your break. It's a paid position, it's not free. You get paid to go on.
And actually, that period is because it's one of the things that we talked, or I mean, we discussed elaborately yesterday. That period is a period by which you can get close to a company. Know all the professional ethics and everything behind your job, and come back the following semester to be a better person. That semester, you don't attend any class. All you do is to work for that company, get out of campus, get out of the dorm, work for that company for that semester. And then some of them end up even technically becoming maybe part-time staff or something because they are good, or something like a job is waiting for them when they graduate because they already established that relationship. And some of them even do the 3 semester course because they do the optional one and then they do the 2 compulsory one. But if they don't do those 2, they will not graduate. So they get paid for that period for the company. Actually, some of them also opt for research course, where they didn't motivate me to pay them $1,000 for a semester to hire them to work on any research related projects. And they will just be on campus, work with me or any research professor that have an ongoing research, and they get paid by the school for $1,000 for that semester. Otherwise, they earn the regular pay of, they must work for 32 hours a week.
Oh, does that mean someone from outside, maybe from Nigeria, you can only
Yes.
for the
Both of them raise hands.
Okay.
I say sometimes Nigerians, because I'm a Nigerian, I know how we think. Sometimes we do a lot of math. Like you want to calculate, especially when we look at the crazy way at which the dollars are going versus Naira. So you want to put your calculator on this and look at, I want to assure you, and my dean is here to testify of the return on investment that we have on campus. We are not bragging about it, but our students are almost guaranteed, unless if something is wrong with them, to get a job after graduating, because that is the data we have. That is the statistics, and she already told you. She wants you to get a job. She wants to train you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Not very well. It is, the education is very fast-paced. I think it is about how you want to do the education as well. Some people kind of slow down, some people take 4 classes, some people take 3. There is opportunity to be able to face it, but it is very hard. I would be lying if I go, yeah, it's easy. No, it's not. It is hard, but as I said, this is a very big commitment that you're making, and it takes a lot of your time. So it is doable. I did it. I heard.
You want to Japan? Sorry, we are not in.
Yes.
You're asking me? You know that I don't know what level you are in the education. But what I I would suggest that I don't bring it up. I feel it like it's my body. Let me tell you, as I speak to you, one of my sons was going to have done the final exam in May. The University of Ilorin. It's not your sex. It's in the site before you. But you know that the life issue, COVID, the room of time, the other side. So they have people lost a lot more. So I know how it feels. I know the challenges. I know the pain you are having. But that is how life has come. It's like that. You just got to face it. You can't, if you tell me it's going to the US now, it's going to holiday. Because I know this side is not going to go on forever. You are putting maybe 6 years or 7 already. They're not going to go to time. No. Not fortunate. And you are not going to drop that to go and start something fresh. So if I were you, I would finish this one. I would do housemanship. You have it. So that I can register with the medical license, then I can get my thereafter.
I'll also say this to answer your question. You have to complete your bachelor's degree and give us the certificate of completion before you can start a master's degree. So there's no, I appreciate next year. Let me start the master's. You have to complete your undergraduate degree. You have to take all that education before you can start it. Yes?
Like, like we said, or a data science master. Like in one year of master. Now we start with master data science. Which of my qualifications like
it depends on what you've done for undergrad and what are you doing for grad school right now. What is your graduate? That's a question for you. What are you doing in grad school right now?
analytical government.
Well, that's very complicated. I mean, all right. So I would say that off the top, I'd say I don't see courses matching between the two programs, but where there's some courses that match, we will take up to 8 credits of your master's program and apply it to your master's degree. Because you have the word analytical in there, maybe you're taking some analytics course, so we can actually transfer, so they can run up to 8 credits.
My suggestion is, I think, what we want to do is like, we're going to an accreditation. Those are not the days to be humble. You think all you have, they will help you. They have specialists. That's what we got from someone whose job is to help you. You understand? They will help and then advise you. And that's why Shadow has told us that these things take time. They take a lot of time. If you give it time, then you're likely to get the best part of it. But if you want to rush through it, you know, I mean, you really can't rush it. And you. So I think we're going to have 20 minutes. Oh, wonderful. Yes, we're taking 20 minutes break. Please make sure you fill out the attendance form. The software has not done so. We are seated there, we are not filling the attendance form. Let's clap for ourselves. We want to be sure we are there. So we're going to take some break. We have some water for you. Get that? Okay. Please let us have water. While we have 20 minutes break before we take the next question. Thank you so much.
Sir, how are you? Very nice.
I don't have
Long.
yeah.
And I want to see you. I think my first name was oh, I didn't make it. So everything you need lagos. I see. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. We like to say the right things, pronounce it the right way. Like nobody can say R in the US. I'm Jordan. My family knows me that my mom Jordan. Who is Jordan? So like good guy, like we need to strong name, the name of God, the God of anger. She's the embodiment of beauty. And when she gets mad, so basically there's a very small story. The demons chaos of her. They send the gods down, and the demons and she was supposed to be the beautiful woman taking care of the children, getting angry because the I tell the story to my 7-year-old all the time. I'm like, Maya, come here, sit down, let me tell you about my mom. She still not scary. But I can't wait to bring my family to the bigger. I just I got to run. No, it's so yeah. So I lost it. We don't get, she told me recently that Nigerian people. Down yoga class, I had yoga class in Kenya, and I tried your yoga class, different. You are preferred. So I didn't say, I am comedian. Why? I still want to use my stop eating. So in Abuja yesterday, literally got a whole catfish. That was the best meal I've ever had. And I come from coastal town India. I live in a coastal town Boston. So fish is such an important part of life. What does fish Boston is?
So now, Zoom, can you hear me? Welcome back.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay, they can hear me.
Yes,
All
ma'am,
right,
we can
thank
hear
you very
you.
much, and I hope you are well refreshed and recharged. So go into this session We are going to make it as brief as possible because we still have other agenda after this event. So we are hoping that within the next 1 hour, we should be able to wrap this up. And then if there is any one-on-one interaction that you want to have with each other, brainstorm and all those things, and you will also be able to do that both on Zoom and, but we need to wrap this up in the next 1 hour. So my name is Yetunde Folajimi, as you already know. I'm an associate professor at Wentworth Institute of Technology, School of Computing and Data Science. So I want to talk about the DIY tips for strong application, visa processing, partnership, and funding. So I want to talk a little bit about that from the little experience I have, and hopefully someone will be able to understand that navigating the path to getting a breakthrough in career, in academics, even as in Nigeria, in the midst of crisis, in the midst of disappointment, in the midst of frustration. Actually, like I said yesterday, when we were talking, I said we have what it takes to forge, to tear any barrier in a developed world because of the kind of background we have, which is the same background that I share with you all. If you are already, I mean, as Nigerians listening to me. So I did my education where there was no power, no light, nothing. You have to go and queue up in the lab in the days of black and white screen for your that is Windows NT or 3-point-something, where you have to like do the black and white stuff to go and learn, to go and do your final project. You have to take a ticket and queue up for your turn to use the lab. And once you miss that opportunity, you have to go and queue behind someone again for your turn to use the computer because you just can't find it. And then no power, no internet, even when, even as we speak. Yesterday, it was chaos. We had to go and look for alternate internet and things like that. So if we can do this and survive, Nigeria always have a backup for something. We always have a way out of something. We always navigate. So we could host another country. Now in our own days when we are frustrated, we refuse to give up, right? We refuse to like do Nigeria must go, and like yesterday we were talking about Japa. I know what it means. So I was saying you have what it takes. If you are here, it means you have some level of education or you have some aspiration. That is why you are here. You are not different from anybody in the United States. You have the brain, you have the energy, you even have much more because you have the chaotic experience, which other people don't have. And so because of that, you can get to anywhere, you can excel. One of the problems that we always have is not being able to believe in ourselves. And that is not good. Because the Nigerian system is fond of, you must know someone to get somewhere. So because of that, we have that mentality, which doesn't work in developed countries, right? I've seen a lot of people got in touch with me, say, okay, can you connect me with how I can do postdoc? Can you connect me? I mean, I don't connect people. I cannot connect people. You have what it takes. You are not different from me. No one connected me. Honestly, actually, anytime I look for connection, I fail. And I'm very bad at heartbreak. So I don't even want to receive that kind of thing because you have it. So that's what I want to talk about today. And that is why I call it DIY. Many people have gone to give like millions of dollars that naira, that they would have used to maybe fund their education, find some other assets and maybe something else to augment it. They go and give it to agents. And then agents in Nigeria, this is Nigeria. I know families that have fallen into that situation and think 50% of the time you fall to the hand of the scammer. And so because of that, you just end up depressed. You just end up, even the people that are helping you to do your application, they are not as good as you are. That is the point, because many of them just have O levels, maybe OND, or things like that. Maybe they have been lucky enough to travel abroad, and because of that, they are keen. They now know everything about this. They don't know anything about F1. They don't know anything about J1. You know, I'm not saying they don't know anything at all, but you are even more educated. So why on earth can you not go to the interview? Because what you are going to do is what they are going to do. People have contacted me and said, help me to apply to your school. Why should I help you to apply to my school if we have a public website, right? So if you don't want to have a heartbreak, the best way you can excel is to know how to do it yourself. Because you can trust yourself more than anybody else. Agents can lie, they can disappoint you. Professor Polajime can disappoint you because I'm a human being, but you cannot disappoint yourself. And if you are the only one that can tell yourself the truth. You are the only one that can tell yourself, yes, I can do it. You know your weaknesses, you know your strengths. And so that is what I want to talk about today. Everything, we can't talk about this in 1 hour, but I just want to wrap up some things and then we can brainstorm, put our heads together. And I hope that you all will go with something today. So before I get there, I will just want to start with this quote, right? From Wendell Berry. Nobody can discover the world for somebody else. Only when we discover it for ourselves does it become common ground and a common bond, and we cease to be alone. Okay, it's not getting close in there. I think it's on the screen. It's not here. With the projector, it's not here. You need to like move that closer. Move the projector closer. Yeah. Move the projector closer. Move the entire table and get it closer. And then closer, not further. Closer. Closer, yeah. Okay. So I was saying nobody can discover the world for somebody else. That's where I was going. Nobody can know you more than how you know yourself. Actually, nobody can tell your story because we'll get to that. Some people will go and hire people to write statements of purpose for them. I mean, why should someone, do I know your story? So now nobody can, it's only when we discover it for ourselves does it become a common ground. And that is why I see this as an opportunity. So give back to Nigeria. Honestly, I'm the least of all people that would ever think I will go and teach in the United States because I never wanted to leave. I love my country. If I wanted to leave, I would have left when I was doing part of my PhD at Canada, right? People were like, oh, Japa has always been there. You can just stay, your family will one way or the other join and all those. I'm like, no, I have a job. I have a family at home. I came here to study. I promised to go back and I'm going back. So now I love the weather. I love the weather. I don't like cold weather and all those things. I love the community. Doga came here for the first time. She's already loving it. And so I love the food. I love everything. So, but when circumstances made me to now say, okay, I don't have a choice. No, I did not jackpot. No, and I'm going to tell you some things about my story. So because if I have a good job there, I was already a senior lecturer at University of Ibadan, the first and the best. So there is no reason to jackpot. If the university could afford to send me abroad to go and do part of my PhD through some grants, then there is no need to jackpot. My dream was to always go and come back with something and give something, right? So that is also one of the things that I want. Everybody cannot just be there, right? But if you have to be, if one way or the other you are going to be there permanently, then you have to remember home. There's nothing like jackpot. So there should always be a way of thought with us, because I know there are many brains that are better than me here, but there's no knowledge about how do I go about it. So that is the point. So we want to have this conversation. Yesterday, I learned one or two things that I didn't even know from the participants. So if we have what I call like a family meeting like this, open house, we'll be able to share, we'll be able to learn from each other. So this is not just about me coming to teach. Many of my colleagues are here. Many of my senior professors are here, like Prof here. And so this is where we learn, this is where we know, this is where we share. And that is what we want. So if you want to stop me at any time to ask a question, if you want to say, no, it is not like that. I want us to see this as like a collaborative effort to see how can we, because Nigeria problem is actually complex. I am in it, I know, I'm part of, so we need to, like, if you want to stop me, if you want to like disagree with what I say, or if you want to agree, whatever it is, we should just all contribute to this knowledge, because people are also looking at this online. Some people cannot even afford to travel or even get internet at this time, but we will put it on our social media for the school, and people can watch it again and again and share it with someone that will be blessed by it. So I will start by giving you a little bit of my background. As you know, I'm an associate professor at Wentworth Institute of Technology, School of Computing and Data Science. All my degrees are in computer science, BSc, MSc, PhD, and I started with my undergraduate at University of Ado-Ekiti, then Ekiti State University, and then I did my master's at Nnamdi Azikiwe University. So if I tell you that I am you, right, I know what I'm talking about. And my PhD degree, though I did part of it abroad, and I will come to how that came to be. I graduated from University of Benin. So I am you, right? I didn't even do PhD abroad. Actually, I don't have an American education. So the fact that you don't have an American education is not a barrier, because I've heard people over again say, oh, it's because they don't have some people right here with PhD, they want to go and start over again with masters. They want to go and start over again. Actually, I was tempted at one point to I was thinking also that way. And then it was one of the professors that I met along the way abroad, just like the doctor told someone today, that told me, yesterday, you don't need to start anything. You already have a PhD for crying out loud, right? I'm like, I want to just have an American education. He said, you are even better than some of us that are here. Why do you need an American education? What you need is the stuff that is in you, right? So don't see yourself as, because you are carrying a Nigerian certificate, you cannot get a job in America. If you are qualified, you do an interview with us, we hire you, right? If so, it's not because America is the best. One thing I love most about America is they don't discriminate, right? If you have the qualification, you get it. You don't know how to do who I know to know and know before you get what you know. So I had all my degrees in computer science, and then had my PhD at University of Benin. Like I said, I have actually, this is 18 plus, but it's actually 20 plus experience in maybe about 22 years experience in the academia. So I've already said some things. University of Ibadan in Nigeria. Prior to that time, I lectured at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, where I also had my master's. For about 10 years, I was lecturing there. I started as a graduate assistant, and after my youth service, very young, very tiny thing. And after my youth service, I was retained at that university. Actually, before then, I always dreamt of being a lecturer. I didn't think of anything else. After I graduated, before I graduated, because I knew I have that something in me that I always want to teach. So I'd always thought about that, but how will I get it? I don't know, because I don't know who I know to know how to. So because you have to know who you know, right? So I thought I was going to get this, at least, but one thing is sure, I knew that, and that is what my late father, I hope that people in heaven are saying, I know he will be very proud of me, because he has always told me that education, actually, jokingly, he'll be calling me Dr. Longe, that was when I was still like a little girl, So he always want to like tell you education. When you say you don't want to do, you want to do something else, he will tell you. It doesn't joke with. You don't have to. You don't have to make. You don't make up. You don't do things. You don't do your hair to go to school. You just want him to have that education. So now, I started at Nnamdi Azikiwe University as a lecturer. Got retained after I didn't even know how, but all I knew was that I said I wanted to be a lecturer. And because of that, I thought the first thing is to earn my master's. So before I finished my youth service, when it was like 3 months to end my youth service, I already submitted an application for master's, right? Because I was serving in the university system. So it was easy for me to just walk across to the admin building and pick a form. So I picked the form, I submitted it because I was never hoping I was going to ever get a job anywhere in this world. I had 2 senior ones that had graduated long ago, and they were still on the queue, no job, right? So how would, I already assumed that is the thing, yeah. So, but I thought I needed to do something. My parents have seen me this far. I don't have to go back and be a burden to them. So I decided to start the fashion designing, learning and doing, because I think I have some talents from 13. I've been loving doing that business. So I strengthened my skills there, and I started doing the business because I was thinking, how will I pay for my master's, right? So that was my thought. And then, so I started the business. I said everybody was going back home because we finished youth service December of 1997. So when we finished the youth service, I was saying, okay, I'm not going to go because by then it was Christmas time and people wanted to make dresses. So I decided not to go for Christmas. I decided not to even go home. So because I needed to make money and pay for my tuition. So I was doing that. It was in the process of staying and waiting that I went to meet one of the staff that said, can you make a space for me? So she even said, come and collect it from work. And by then I already finished from the campus. So I went there, and then one of them was telling me that, oh, 2 of my colleagues came to submit application for job, my youth service, that we did youth service at the same department. I'm like, okay, so that is possible. So it was right there. I wrote, even long time. I wrote an application and submitted. And guess what? I was the only one that was. Yeah. So sometimes things happen for a reason. Take advantage of everything that happens at that time. So I got that job. December 1997. By January 1998, I started a job, right? So that was how I ended up starting as a graduate assistant and being a lecturer all my life. I don't even know to do how something else, right? So now, having done all that, I worked at the university for about 10 years before I crossed to University of Ibadan. And then took another 8 years to work at the University of Ibadan, maybe 8 or 9. So I worked there again. And then I rose through the cadre, and my colleagues that are here, you all know how they publish or perish kind of life, and how hard it might be for you to even go from one level to another, right? So, but I went through all the levels actually, and then when you are looking for something, don't think, don't do some math that really doesn't balance any equation. When you are looking for something, just look at, because I was already a lecturer 1 when I was living at the University, right? Lecturer, I think it's 2 before 1, right? So, okay, I was already a lecturer 1 when my promotion had been done, but it has not been, it was actually going to be backdated. So when I got to University of Ibadan, I saw the application, the opening was for lecturer 2, right? But I knew I needed to get to a better place. I'm not saying this to say, oh, University is not this or that, but we know UI is the first and the best. And I want so I now had to take a lower position, the same lecturer 2 that I was. As at that time, my promotion has already been done. So I went to repeat that level, kind of. Because I know the name, University of Ibadan, and I wanted to belong to that name, right? I wanted to identify with that name. So I went to University of Ibadan, started a career. Within the first 1 year of my stay at University of Ibadan, right, I got a sponsorship to go abroad and finish my PhD, which I have been doing for 3 years and no clue, right? So, to go and get, so I got a grant I'll talk about grants a little bit. It's not what you just knock the door and get, right? Because it's always very competitive. So I got the grant and I was able to go. I had a very sweet breakthrough. Something that I could not have achieved in 6 years, I was able to do in 6 months. When I got, so one very strong point I want to tell someone here is that even if you don't have an opportunity, you don't have the millions of Naira deposit they are asking you to put in your bank account before you can school in US, there are some opportunities, conferences. There are things, places where you can go and you will meet someone that knows someone, right? Because knowing someone in the sense that you will meet a potential, yes, networking. We meet a potential PhD supervisor, right? We meet a potential, even someone that can hire you. We just met together, right? And if you are qualified and we publish an ad, right? And you are qualified, you submit to the portal, you go through the due process. Because we don't discriminate and you get your job if you are qualified, right? So go meet, do networking. Just like this kind of networking. A lot of people signed for this, but only few people showed up. You are not few, you are many, but based on the number, I was afraid that this is going to be too overwhelming, right? So now, because you are here for networking, find an international place to go to, enough of, and leave your, there's nothing free, no free lunch, no free scholarship, nothing. People that are giving you scholarship, they are buying something from you, actually. So which means, whatever you are giving them is what you are selling. You must have something you want to sell before you can start thinking about give me scholarship, right? They are inviting you to a conference. Prepare your portfolio. I mean, watercolor it well, let it pop out. You have never traveled abroad for a conference, fine. You have attended this one, put it in your resume, right? And so let it be something that will describe, be special about you. And then when you have the next opportunity somewhere, and there is nothing you do without investment, right? I remember how much I invested on internet before I left Nigeria, on petrol. I literally carried my generator and put in my trunk. Even as at the time when the generator in the house was not working, I had to carry it to the office every morning, bring it back to the house in the night so that we could use. The following morning, I'm carrying it, not even a small generator. So all these things are sacrifices that we don't allow anything to slow you down, because I might run through the other slides. So I like talking off slides many times. So when I get through those slides, I will just run through them. So now don't allow situation and circumstances, government, HOD, Jane, anybody to hold you down, right? Internet and whatever it is, find a solution, right? Find, I mean, your own financial, look at the end, the financial gain that you are going to get. I say people will say, oh, she's a professor in the United States, right? But did you know what sacrifice that person has made, right? You want to be like that person, can you make a sacrifice to be like that person, right? So I'm not looking for, don't collect my bag, don't value for me, right? Because that will not buy you anything, right? What will buy you something? I would rather collect your bag and let you work for me, like let you be my PhD student. I would rather value for you and let you be my PhD student if you have the potential that I'm looking for, because I want to buy it from you. I would not want to put my money where there is no gain, right? If you are going to be my apprentice, my PhD student or my master student or whatever it is, I'm not looking for someone that will come to class and start sleeping, right? I want to see that relationship. I want to meet you in a conference and see how you interact, because I don't want to interact with people that don't have something to contribute to my life. That is what you have to sell. Prepare that which you want to sell before you can start asking for money. And I can assure you almost all the time, if you don't give up, you will get it. You will get there. So as you can see, I've gotten to some countries all over the world. It's either to go and do a research collaboration or something, the Wentworth University at United Kingdom, and all this. Grant took me there. I never paid a dime, except when I needed to meet, when I saw someone that I needed to meet, going to a conference, and I had to go and use my own money to buy tickets. As outside that, since then, I've never used my money to buy any ticket or to buy, so at a point also when I was in Canada studying for my PhD, which had to be for 6 months, where I would say that like I got the breakthrough to my research. I was already overdue by that time, and yet no clue. I was dancing around the circle. No resources. There was actually a document I needed to get, someone's thesis, to be sure of what was the result of this document, right? And I couldn't download it unless I buy it, unless I pay. And I couldn't pay the dollars to buy it. So I gave up. I was like, maybe I will change the direction of my research and all those stuff. And then I was in Canada. I saw on the poster, read science. That's also very important. Read science, join network, be curious about everything. So I look at, I always read everything that is posted on the wall. Even, I don't know if I'm being noticing things. Each time we are working together, I will stop by and look at the wall to see if there's something that might benefit me or benefit someone. So I saw that announcement about a professor coming to give a presentation to PhD students. And I look at the name rang a bell. I went back again and realized I've cited this professor several times. So I said, this is it. So I attended the event, then I learned that, okay, during that, I said we should register if we want to see the professor one-on-one. That's why I like the one-on-one touch, the type that I did when I thought, last week. So that we should see the professor one-on-one. So I went and signed for that, and I went to meet the professor, Professor Jonathan Sheffer. So I went to meet the professor, and then I talked, it's like I was a PhD student, of course, and I told him about my research and everything. He's also doing things with AI and gaming, where I specialize. So I was like, oh, I was just going crazy. Let me take a snapping with you. I was idolizing him. Like, you in person, I started talking about all his papers I've read and how many times I've started it. And he was so impressed. And I was like, okay, is there anything, because it was being very big, is there anything you want me to do for you? So I said, okay, there is actually one paper I've been trying to download this thesis, and they said I should pay, and I can't afford to pay. Is there a way, do you by any chance have a copy of that document or something? So he asked me for the name. I told him, he was like, I supervise that thesis. So honestly, I didn't know what to do. Then he told me, okay, how can I get, he said I should just give him his address. And then when he returns back to Abata, where he came from, that he was going to mail it to me. By Monday morning, I opened my doorstep, the parcel was waiting for me. So that is it. And end of story for my PhD. I just went back home to go and defend and wrap it up and everything. And guess what? I didn't defend until another 14 months, right? So we know, yes. So, but eventually I defended. There's nothing worth being discouraged. There's nothing worth giving up on. Because if there is a will, there is a way. So I returned, and so I was able to do additional. Actually, in between, I had to travel again to Pittsburgh. Then my scholarship was, they sent me to, I was sent to Canada to go and study, right? But along the line, I also needed something, which my professor at Canada was telling me would be great and everything with my thesis. But the professor is at the University of Pittsburgh, no state. So I was going to go and meet him, but there was no funding. Good enough, I was on study leave. So my salary was being paid in Nigeria. I had to send home for them to change dollars, right? And change Naira and send it to me as dollars so that I can use to pay for my trip to the United States for 6 weeks, right? Accommodation, everything. So I went, they gave me a lab there and I finished, not just finished, but today, me and that professor in US, we have been collaborating. Actually, we recently won the grants together, right? That same professor. So I paid my way. Nobody sponsored me to go to US, right? I used my own money and resources. So sometimes you need that sacrifice. There's no 100% opportunity anyway. There is always something that you need to give. And when you give that thing, it will buy you much more. Because you will meet somebody, you will get a network that will open. Let me tell you, Americans love one-on-one touch, right? We met at a conference, we did, especially when you are sending a mail from Nigeria, right? And you are saying, hey, professor, I want to call. You see? Some people will not even respond to your email at all because they don't know whether you are real or fake. they don't know whether you are Yahoo, you know. But when you go to a conference and you meet them in person or you present something, I mean, so now we have all this, and here we are. I've gotten a number of awards listed on this slide. Commonwealth, and these are all the, grants that have taken me to different parts of the world, either to go and do my research, either to go for a fellowship, including 2 postdocs, 2 years of postdoc, back to back. And recently I had also a Create with VR grant. If you notice, we have a project for girls next week, Thursday and Friday. So the Create with VR grant was recently granted to my VR, my AI and gaming class, where I can incorporate virtual reality. And we had 42 headsets, right? VR is the future, not just AI now. The world is going that direction, and Nigeria should not be left behind, especially the girls. So if you are interested there, your parents, send your girl there, send your wife there. So you come there by yourself if you are an ally, like you are a supporter of empowering women, right? So, and they will be learning some machine learning stuff and VR things. And also we have our workshop machine learning, of course. So, but I've gotten all these grants, and if you want to know more about those grants, you can have one-on-one conversation with me so that I can tell you what it is all about. And in terms of teaching, currently at Wentworth, I teach Computer Science 1 and Computer Science 2, which is based on Java. So this fall, I will be teaching CS1 mostly, and system administration. That's the third bullet on that list. And which we teach Linux. We use Linux for our sysadmin. And then we have AI for gaming, where I use C#, Python. And these are some of the languages. And then I take mostly natural language processing, where I also use Python. We are hoping that we will also have a game dev. We already have a minor in the pipeline, which is going to start very soon. And students will be able to graduate and have a minor in game development. So I also have some fun projects that I do. And that's one thing I'm going to mention very soon in the subsequent slide. Excellence is not just about having straight A's, right? It's not just about distinctions in YF, distinctions, straight A in all your courses. Excellence is all round, right? They complement each other. Anybody can stay all night and make an A, or cram and make an A, but not everybody can multitask and make an A. So that is excellence. So make sure that if you are not doing anything related to community now, begin to do it. Make impact. The people you want to collect grants from, right? It is a contribution to community development, to develop you. So what have you contributed to develop your own community? How nice have you been to others? What have you given? You don't have dollars to give them. Have you given your time to empower someone, to work with some people, so volunteer? They call it volunteer. Actually, in I think Doga, let me be sure that I'm not saying things out of project. Students want to get into Wentworth or any from their high school. For high school, you have a certain number of hours of community service or community development that you must do as part of your graduation requirements from high school to enter university, to enter college. So it is very valuable. You must be able to contribute to your community in addition to excellence in grades, right? So I've been involved in all these projects without even knowing it that it will be useful for me one day, right? So I have some of these AI games and VR for social goal, which is on the pipeline. Actually, there's something on the list that is coming very soon, right? Springtime with Professor Yeti. I want to be helping Nigerian school system. I also lost 1 year when I was in the system to strive, IBB. So now I know the situation. Our undergrads, they are frustrated now. Professors, lecturers are frustrated, no salary, and there is no midway. And I really feel for these students, right? when two elephants fight, according to an African adage, the grass will suffer. The students are the grass that is being marched upon. The government is at this side, ASU is at this side, and the students are in the middle. So now they have been at home doing nothing. Even what they know has evaporated, and I'm sure my colleagues here can testify to it that when these students come, they will just do some rushing to go into exam, right? I mean, meanwhile, what they have even learned before the strike began, they have forgotten it. So I'm trying to see a potential of being able to stream teach some things, right? And get them engaged, specifically for Nigerian students, maybe bi-weekly, 1 hour, and people can just learn, and I put it on YouTube or wherever. Because I know one of the challenges our students also have, there's a lot of tutorials out there, but they always talk about the accent that they don't get. So I want, because I've been in the system, I've taught here for several years, I know what they need. I know what they need, and I know that I have the accent. So being able to do that, maybe it will also be helpful to our students, because you can't escape it. It is the knowledge that matters. The days that we are now is not the days of teaching code on the board. No, you don't teach code in exercise book. You teach code practical. You teach it on the system. You teach it with the application that you want to teach. You teach it on the server where you want to teach. They connect live. Practical is very critical. So, but I don't blame the professors because they only use the resources that they are given to use, right? So, so these are things that I do. Make sure that you can also, if you want to learn from me, how you can be engaged in some of these community activities, I'm happy to talk to you, to talk with you about this. So, because I do, but my own concentration is diversity and inclusion. I always want to tilt things that I do in terms of diversity, in terms of inclusion. Otherwise, we won't be here, right? Because that is actually the reason why we are here to do this program. So we will now go to maybe some people might say, okay, fast forward because I'm here for strong application tips, right? Okay, no problem. I'm rounding up very soon. And we are creating a WhatsApp. My professor is already giving me signal. So I'm creating a WhatsApp group where we can all interact and you can follow up with questions and things like that.
And she responds every single message.
Yes.
I know.
Every meaningful message. So please, if you send me a video about two people fighting on the street of Lagos, I may not respond. But send me something about how you can better your life, about how you can connect something. Trust me, if I don't respond within 24 hours, send me a reminder, right? So, application tips. We are here, I mean, you've learned a lot from the associate dean from our School of Graduate Studies, and you've learned a lot from my dean. Now, how do you get there? Like I said, I don't have an American education, right? I can't turn back the hand of the clock to go and apply for some things, but I can tell you, because I relate with students that have migrated from here and are international students over there. So sometimes I just ask them, how did you do it? What are the things? How are you feeling? How is your life there? Because it is not also a bed of roses, your life there. And that's also one of the tips as they come to my head, I will just give it. One of the things I want you to know, which I also gave yesterday. Many of you, I hope that this session will bring you to Wentworth, right? It is my strong belief that many of you that are maybe not less than 50% of you, I don't know who will be among the 50%, but maybe more. So, but not less than 50% of you. This program will bring you to Wentworth, right? When you get there, understand the reason why you are there, your primary reason why you are there. What is that reason? I've seen students come there and then they misplace the priority. They begin to make money. I'm not saying don't make money. I'm not saying don't help your family back home. But if that will take over your primary reason of being there, the aim is defeated. The same family that you are sending money, you are working hard to do, even your children, they will ask you, Daddy, why did you fail? You know? So you have to focus on it. Cut the number of times. You already have the opportunity to work for 20 hours. And the system in America, they do research before they approve or do anything. They know that your working time that they're giving you is enough for you to take care of yourself, right? Because they don't want liability. So because of that, they know that it is also enough for you to also spend time on your studies, right? People will go all night, all day, everything. Sometimes they don't even go to class anymore and they start failing. And trust me, it is not like Nigeria education where if you fail, you cannot carry over and come and do it next semester. If you pay your maybe $4,000 or $3,000 for your class now, and you fail it, your money has gone, right? You must pass it before you graduate, and to pass it, you have to take it again. To take it again, you have to pay for it again, right? So get that clear. Make sure that you face what you are going to do there primarily. Do your own work if you are applying for anything. Before you go to any website and start applying for, just do your own work. Find out what are the requirements. There are some general requirements. For example, visa procedure is the same thing in Harvard with Wentworth, right? So there are some specific requirements. Make sure you go to the website of the university, find out what are their specific requirements. Find out also what are the general requirements before you apply for something that will end up in failure, right? Because you want to walk in line. It might be scholarship you're also applying for. Don't just say because somebody else has applied for this scholarship, you are going to apply.
I want to add to, when you do anything in the United States, start something. Now, we always say start your application. Because once you start the application, you're in their system. Then you can follow up with the email and say, oh, by the way, I started this application. What else do I need? And they are then obligated to reply to you because now you are in their system. So please don't send cold emails out. I say this because people said that to me and I don't respond. You just say, hello, please do I would like to come to Wentworth. Like that, great, good luck. But if you could say, I started the application, you can go and look at the email, I submitted A, B, and C. I just have a question about this. Then I go into the internal system and I pull up all the documents and say, oh, I see the same thing. Let me point you to the right person. So yesterday it's very right here to say everything that you need to know is and has to be by law on the website. We are required by the government of the United States of America to not hide information. It has to be on the website. Sometimes it's not easy to read, but it has to be there. So just know that a little bit of time spent on whichever school you want to go to is website really good.
Yeah, so that's very important. Start your application. Now you got from the graduate school dean already that if you are applying and you have attended this program and you are applying for your application, they will give you an application waiver, application fee waiver, right? So which means, can I have some more? So which means that, thank you. So which means that you don't have to pay the application fee. So just even see it as an experiment. After all, you are not paying the application fee, right? So just go there, let them have your contact on the system. This one is okay, I can do it. Thank you. So let them have your contact on the system. By that, and the PGs, the graduate school people, they are so very effective at following you up, right? So make sure that they have your data because that is like, showing them that you are interested in this campus, and then they can follow you up, and you can always like use your application as a reference if there's anything else that you need. So do all your own work, go to the website. Like Dean said, everything you need is on the website, and there is nothing hidden. There is nothing hidden. And if you don't see it, like you said, it might be like embedded somewhere. If you don't see it, send an email, ask, and then she will point you to the page where it is. So emphasize your fit for that program. Like I said, if somebody is fit for a program, that doesn't mean that you are fit for that program, right? You might not have a computer science background. After you have gone to the website and done your own work and everything, and you know that one way or the other, you can do a data science program, maybe by doing some prerequisites and all those things, right? You can now use that as a selling point to get admitted. So show your skills. And that brings us to your personal statement. I've read personal statements and I must confess, especially from Africa, I feel embarrassed. Yeah. if someone can plagiarize personal statements, right? What else can they not plagiarize in this world, right? Personal statement. You go and copy somebody's personal statement. It is personal, it is unique. There are no two you, right? So you go and copy, you can read other people's personal statements, see what they say about themselves. Now sit down, you know the story of your life. And don't talk about, like Dean was saying yesterday, don't talk about your father is sick at the hospital. That is your father, right? That will not create sentiment. Admission is not by sentiment. Admission is about your qualification, both academically and emotionally and in every other way, relationship. Talk about how you personally had some obstacles and you navigated it. And that now culminated in your academic success. Academic, that is very important. So talk about your skills. What are the things that you have that other people don't have? Other people know how to make an A. But you also, in addition to making your A, you also know some, you play maybe soccer. Maybe you have some skills that others don't typically have in the academics. Talk about it. And so showcase it, your skill. And work with your referees, very important. I'm sorry to say again, I was a faculty in Nigeria for several years, and I know the kind of references we write, right? And I know that some people don't even read it. All we do is to say, okay, checklist, reference submitted, yes. Some people don't even read it. Not everybody. University of Ilorin reads it, and Prof is here to say that Ilorin reads it. But I can't say it for some other universities, right? So, but I'm saying that even the kind of reading that we do when we read it, I've now had like two sides of the coin. I've worked here, I've worked over there, right? Now I can say boldly there is a difference, right? The technology is there. Before you submit anything to me, before I even read it, I know already whether it is plagiarized, right? So that you make my business easy. I just put it in the lit list. So now the technology is there and everything is there. And we read all these things, word for word. We use it to decide your case, right? So take it seriously. Don't go and look for some referee that don't have a reputation or that don't have, because we want to know who is your referee. Where did you meet, right? What kind of reference is he writing for you? He's good, he's great, he's smart and nice. That is not reference, right? We want to know what is the background of that reference. So if this person can vouch for you, then it means I'm proud of you. It means I want to have you. If this professor is saying I can vouch for you and I know this is a professor that I envy, then I already like you. You understand? So make sure you look for people that have that skill. Sometimes, trust me, sometimes people that don't know you can write reference for you. I mean, they don't know you officially. For example, if you go to a conference, that's happened to me before. If you go to a conference and you make a presentation and somebody attended your presentation and you exchange business card, right? That is all. Or you go and Google the person on the website and you say, oh, this person is also in my field, like a very big person. You can send an email to that person and say, remember you attended a conference that me and you attended together and you attended my session. Will you please write a reference for me based on what I presented, right? Based on if you feel what I presented makes sense. You'll be surprised. So people will be able, they will be willing to do so. So, and this kind of reference has a very great weight because they don't know you, but they already seen your work and they are proud of it. So it's not a matter of who knows who, please help me to write this and say this thing about me, right? And work with them, if possible, see what they are writing. Don't let them destroy your objective. Not as in pay, they are writing something bad or negative against you. But you can help with Prof. Can you just maybe add some extra things that I did with you? Can you just say some little bit more about me? Do you want me to just drop something in addition to remind you of what we did so that you can put it together, right? Nobody can tell your story the way you tell it, right? So it is a lot of work. There are visitations where I had stayed all night with professors because of my references, right? So follow instruction, work with them and follow instruction. Instruction very important. Actually, that should have been on the #1 list. because if you fail the instruction, everything else is already collapsed. So follow instruction, and I will just quickly go to scholarship tips, because I know many of our participants have always been curious about scholarship. And from my own little way, from my own little experience, I just wrap them up in this bullet so that you can expand it, you can follow up personally with me over it and all those things. Now, number one thing is that you must have a satisfactory prerequisite, right? Check your background, see if it matches the prerequisite for that, because that's the first way by which they eliminate, by which they shortlist. Do you qualify? Yes or no? So if they're asking for PhD and you only have master's, don't bother to apply for something that you will be rejected. Don't waste your time, right? So make sure that you have the prerequisite and then submit on time. If they say it's going to, actually, when I say timely, I'm saying timely application, not timely submission. Submission must be timely, but it can be 1 minute to the time that they put as deadline. My dean knows that I'm someone that is always very meticulous. When I do something, before I click submit button, I will go back again and see. Go back again. Sometimes she has to nudge me. I'm like, yesterday you have not submitted. I'm like, I'm still, you have not done me. Because I want to make sure there is no mistake. Because sometimes there are some 0-hour mistakes that you suddenly realize and you catch it. Not even mistake, improvement. You might have submitted, whereas you still have so many days before the submission. And then suddenly you just meet somebody and you just get an information. You even get a new resume, like you just get an opportunity. It is too late to add it, to update it, or that. So don't do competition about submission, because when they have published a submission deadline, they will stick with that deadline, right? Before they start reviewing. Unless if they say review is by first come, first serve, that kind of thing, they will explain everything. Being said, they don't hide anything. Yeah, it is by law. They will explain their selection process. So, but timely application, I can't remember if I heard what she was saying, but I believe she must have said it. If you want to get in by September 2023, start applying today, right? So that is, application is different from submission, right? Start applying today. Let us get your name on the seat. By that, you will be able to realize, what am I missing? Nigerians were fond of waiting until quarter to deadline. I've seen people, deadline is tomorrow, and you'll be asking me, please write a reference for me because I want to submit this thing tomorrow. I have things on my table already, right? So you need to create time. Application is not a rush thing, right? So you don't have to wait till the deadline before you start doing something. If they say this is the deadline, give yourself 6 months ahead, give yourself 1 year ahead. Sometimes you miss the circle, right? So once you miss the circle and you say, oh, the call just closed, right? Then go and put the calendar. If it is a yearly call, then you don't start applying for the one of next year. Don't wait again until quarter to go next year before you now start gathering your documents. So, general qualifications.
So one of the things that happens is they have, let's say, 20 scholarships. If you're one of the last people to apply, they will be given away 20 scholarships. So you want to be large mix of students. So they'll wait until the deadline. So on the 15th of February, you look at all the applications. Will we take your application on February 16th? Sure, but you are not in the February 15th group. So just remember that timing is very important. You want to be considered for everything, not be late.
Great. That's a very smart, that's a very great tip, right? So the fact that you submit your application and we take your application as submitted doesn't mean that we will be among the people to get scholarship, right? So it has to be timely. General qualification, the criteria, completeness, all those things I think is embedded in some of the things I've talked about. If you want to know more about it, your application must be complete, your qualifications must be right, the criteria for selection, read it and know that you meet that criteria. Your community volunteer involvement is very important. Like I said, I'm not going to say it again, not to waste time. Your extra and extracurricular activities. If you know you are the type that is looking for scholarship, don't base it on merit alone. If you had not had anything, if you want to talk to me about community service and projects and things like that, even if it means online, right? Talk to me about it and I can give you some guide. Leadership and personal development, very important. good enough now we're in the world of Udemy, I mean, we're in the world of internet, where you can get degrees without even going to the United States. You can get certification. We have medical doctors here listening to this. We have people from other fields, chemists and so on. So there are certifications that you can take that technically make you to belong to the computing body, right? So have those qualifications. There are some leadership training you can take. In person, online, have the certificates, have the credentials. On the online, there are things like EDX, there are things like Udemy, there are things like Audacity, and all this. Audacity will give you a micro master's, right? Udemy, EDX will give you micro masters, right? Which even some of the Audacity courses are recognized in the United States. So now you can have all these certification statements, and those are the ones that came to my head, but there's still a lot. Google and find this. Make sure, in addition to your credentials as PhD and everything else, have some development, because these are all round things that people look at when they want to give you scholarship or funding or grants or anything. Extraordinary, unique, and creative person. Every scholarship has an application or something to say about yourself and why you need this fund, blah, 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 all those things. It should be unique. There is no to you, right? Like I said, you can use other templates, but there is no to you. Make sure that you are, otherwise, we don't need you if there are still other people that have what you have, right? Write something that will make people feel that, oh, this is different, right? So, and then great references as well, just like I mentioned before. This is also important for the scholarships. Who is giving the reference and how it is being given. So study in United States, research your options, right? One option, and which I expect also to be on the top of your list, because you are here, is Wentworth, right? So, because you already have all the background information that typically other schools will not give you, right? So, research your options. And one of the things that I also want you to research, Boston is a very great city. Actually, the oldest, is it the oldest or one of the oldest in the United States? I mean, Boston.
Boston is the oldest.
Yes, the oldest. She recently bought a house that was like 100 and something years old. That is Boston, right? Yeah, so that is Boston. You can't find a 2000 and something year old Boston house. I mean, you will typically, even my own house and all those, you will typically find houses that are like 19 something and maybe early 20. I mean, so now 18 something, and these houses are still great, very, very great and solid. So now, so what I'm saying is that Boston is a great place. It's a mix of so many beautiful things, so many fantastic things. But trust me, Boston is expensive. I'm not scaring you, right? Boston is expensive, but the money is there. The resources is there. And that is why it is expensive. Some people have explored this option. I relate with students a lot, and then they prefer to go and take a school in a very remote place so that they can get cheap school fees, cheap tuition. And then hardly do they get an opportunity to do co-op. I recently have a student that I mentored that came to Boston to come and do co-op from the school where he was schooling, because there was no place to do co-op, right? And so he got hired at, he's doing computer science, so he got hired in a very beautiful company, being paid about, I think, $25 or something like that an hour. So, at the company, so it's 4 months of co-op. Yes, ma'am? Okay. All right, so yes, complete your application. Of course, you have to find a way of financing your studies. I'm not the right person to tell you that. You've heard a lot of things. Complete your application, apply for your student visa, prepare for your departure. And talking of departure, start with your online, the school will give you, of course, as a student, the I-20 for you to file. That, if you don't give you can't go to the embassy, right? And you can't get it unless you have the required qualification, which will be given along with your admission letter to tell you what are the requirements in terms of finances that you need. And then after that, you can go ahead, follow the process, create an online portal. It is a DIY thing. Actually, because this is my last flight, I will not leave here without letting you know that I've never used an agent in my life. I'm not saying this. Please, agents, don't be there online. Don't be, everybody is not the same. So don't follow my own this thing. If you know you can't do it, still use an agent. But I'm just saying that the fact that you can't afford an agent doesn't mean that you can't do it, right? So pay the visa fee, do all the steps, because that is the steps they are also, that's why they are agents. They are doing the steps on your behalf. Schedule an online appointment at the embassy. The websites are there, informations are there, give your biometrics and attend the interview. If you have all the prerequisites, there's no who know who in interview. You have everything it takes, your finances, your bank statement and everything. You will get your visa if there is nothing shady, right? So let's get that clear. And that is where I'm going to close to say, feel free to get in touch with us. That is the Dean's, the Dean's office. If you send an email to this scds@which.edu, about 5 or 6 people will receive your email at the same time, right? And they will respond, led by the Dean. There are 2 associate deans working with her. There is academic academic coordinator. And so you have people that, even if you only have time to respond, people that are more experienced than me in your application process and everything, they will respond. But if you have to talk to me, you want to follow up with me about some things that I can help you out with, that is my email address over there, the website, and the, when you get to Wentworth, check me at DOPS 146. That is my office number. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. As she started, most of the stories in fact, I was not hearing them with you. If I give her a chance to speak, while speaking along with you, as she was speaking, I whispered to her and said, the pattern is the same. I don't know the pattern. We can probably just find common headings for that show. Because that has been part of learning. It's exactly. I don't know how to do it. It's not difficult to get away. But not to tell away. Of sowing things. Like I only some. Many of us want to do anything. There's a volunteer work today that they say, come and help. Like I have to do now. Some people have been working behind the scene for some months, some weeks, some days. Many of us will work fast. In fact, even in religious houses today, you want them to come and draw. They will say the pastor will tell me how much will be paying them. I tell you, there's no it's about them today. But whether you are in Nigeria or you are in Israel or you are in Canada or whatever, the story will be the same. If you ask for anyone that you can describe yourself as grace, who are them? There's a time that must go the seed. But I'm so happy to be sharing this for the first time. See, you put my hand on the down to the
Can you give her a mic? People on the internet are yeah.
It's not good for everybody. There is so many of them. Because it is very poor, you will still pay your own price. Your price to sacrifice.
Àwọn obìnrin bó bá ti ń lọ́bọ̀ obìnrin fẹ́ràn tàbí ọkùnrin ẹ̀ àbá wọ́n fẹ́ràn tàbí àyẹ̀. Mọ́mí Ayọ̀.
Okay. I told her about this one of people helping you. Many of us want to go somewhere as educated as we are. You can't get online to just read simple instruction and follow. You go and put yourself into trouble. They will fulfill wrong date of birth for you. Because you believe that they are connected, they have succeeded in telling you that they are connected to the American embassy in a special way. They can fill the form for you, and you will be they'll be collecting certain amount of money from you to fill the form. They will fill the wrong form. They will not put the correct information about you and put you into trouble, and they will reject you. And the following week, fortunately, if it is one of these F1 visa, you have an opportunity to redo it. If it's not too late for your resumption, you will now sit down and do it yourself, and then they give it to you. And something will tell you that, why was I stupid? Do you understand? I want you to know that all that she has said is the truth. You need to pay the price where you are going. Even if God is going to be on your side, God blesses something in your hand. You know what I mean? And if what is in your hand is nothing, everything multiplied by 0 is what? Okay. So I pray that let's take your question at this point. No, let's take your questions. Some things you want to, especially I said, it's a family. For you to have come under this rule, I believe that for some of you, it's a great opportunity. You know, some people, when this opportunity comes, it's about sharing formula. You know that happens in this country. They will say when you come, 20% of your best salary or whatever. But that is not it. I'm making you the best you can be. And I can tell you, people are still looking for people in this world of today. Because there's something I will say in Yoruba, but you didn't say it in English. In your work, people are scarce. Proper people are scarce. Correct human beings, good people, they are scarce. They are still looking for them world over. That's what we have taken this beautiful woman from that far away to come to our country in spite of our story. That's standard. So if you have put the correct thing in your life up to this point, I don't know if you are not, there is still an opportunity to try and do that. So try and begin to do things in a different way so that you will be ready and be prepared. Do you know that I can tell you, as I speak with you, some people are finishing first degree, whatever name you call it, BSc, BA, B whatever, and they are getting doctoral position directly. They are getting masters without knowing anybody, even with scholarship. And you ask yourself, what is the difference? This is an opportunity. I pray that your paths will be well lined. There is before you take a question, an announcement here. If you are here physically, you came in signing into our attendance sheet because we want that to be able to write our report with ease. We have now sent you a feedback call. And using the same email you used to sign in that attendance sheet. Please, when we finish, go back there because we want to get better. Great people are never afraid of feedback because your feedback helps them to do better. So tell us the things we did not do well so that we can do them better. We will look at them tonight and work on them for tomorrow. Is that okay? So please make sure you are we're not going to be asking from you. give us a good feedback. So let's take some questions from here and from online. Yes. Introduce yourself when you want to ask a question. And then what has oh, great. How did you find out this program? Okay, thank you. So let's have a list. He wants to know the difference between statement of purpose.
What you need, whether it's a statement of purpose or personal statement.
He wants to know the difference between line and the difference between line.
There's no 10 line. Yeah. No, you are not submitting the two. You are just submitting either a statement, if they call it statement of purpose or they call it personal statement. You are submitting that statement. Now, if you are looking for a job, for grad schools, a statement of purpose, and you have to like analyze your story and everything. If it is for undergrad, it's college essay, right? But if you are looking for a job as faculty and everything, there are actually in most universities 2 things you will submit: your statement of purpose and your teaching statement, right? That is, if you are being hired, I mean, your research statement, research statement and your teaching statement. So, which means if you are being, which is you talk about research, you talk about, but if you are a student, whether you are right, whether they call it statement of purpose or personal statement, you are writing the same thing. Okay, and then we look at the semantics, right? You look at.
My statement of purpose is like look at the research based on getting people together. What do I want to accomplish and change? What do I see? Accomplish this. My personal statement, my first practice is before citation. It's summary of reading as its relevance underlying to my purpose. A summary of me as is relevant to my purpose by private applicant as his statement.
Statement of purpose contains present.
And that's why. Yeah, and that's why most universities will be asking for your statement of purpose, right? But if they say write your personal statement, then it means you want to say something that is personal, right? It could be about the story of your life, as long as it will get you an admission based on it.
If you are writing personal statement, you will also read this. If that's what they're asking, you will also be writing it at the end of which I express for, if you are writing academic writing, I will say paragraph 1 is this, 2 is this, and the last one. It's like you remind them of what they do. As soon as someone finishes paragraph 1, and the last paragraph, you probably have to do it.
And let it be that this, with the ultimate goal of saying, well, with this statement of purpose, this gives me the confidence that I'm a good fit for your university. Because your statement of purpose, that is the reason why your personal statement, that's why they're asking for it in any way. They want to know who you are. Are you somebody that I can really accept as my student, right? Based on not just your academic and all those things that is already given as your statement of purpose, but are you somebody that's based on your life, the story, your own story, which is personal, which is unique, can I really work with you as a student? So you want to tell us, so make sure you wrap it up that, okay, this now blend it with the universities, what you think will make sense to them giving you an admission. I think there are some online. Yes. I'm a graduate of Arts and Humanities. Can I apply for Masters? I think maybe this person came late, but can I apply for Masters in Data Science and at Wentworth? Okay, great. Oh, great.
Well, you want that to very long amount of 22.
I feel that exciting story. My story is very boring. I came to the US, I did extremely well, got a great job, and I'm not being. I don't have a much story. I'm sorry. I'm very honest. I come from a very highly educated family in India. I just didn't speak the culture of India. I asked too many questions. So I elected to come to the US to pursue computer science. I pursued computer science. So I was an electrical engineer by training. Then I did computer science in my graduate degree. And then I came to Wentworth when Wentworth's computer science department had just been formed. So I was there from the ground floor on. 18 years later, I decided I should read. I was reading as faculty, and then I said maybe I should read all faculty. And then I moved into very simple.
All right.
I'm not a computer science, but I came from a certain what I do with my students, I want to do computer science, then I give it for them. Let's reach them. We may not have the skill of the heart guidance, but we can always do that. So I want that organization. Global, these are the all that we do is actually just go online, paper and all that. This offer because the party put it there, make it both alive. Otherwise, okay, can essentially attract the grant. That of course that something that because of English primary school kids that don't have access to, but we want them to have a feel of what we do.
Of course, yeah. It is amazing that we can even go to that extent of even of creativity. So think about not even going to buy a hand lens and all those things, using a bottle to enlarge boxes and all those things. And so, which is something, of course, that you can talk about. You should be proud of it, right? Because you are like an innovator, right? It might be not be a gadget or something, but you are creative, and that can give you a grant if you even while you were talking, I was thinking that many of these grants, they are not localized because Americans have to report tax and all those things, so we cannot just give grants to Nigerians. But there are opportunities for collaboration where you can have a proposal, jointly write it with someone abroad, and then they will give the funds to, the grant to whichever institution or person you are collaborating with abroad, and then the person can collaborate with you. Actually, there's a lot of opportunities abroad where researchers over there are looking for Africans to network with if their projects are kind of African related. So of course, it's possible because you already have, and that's also one thing. Always make sure that you have something that will prove that you are competent enough. If they give you a grant, you can handle it, right? So you have started an idea, but the idea is not will have been more impactful if you have a grant. So you already have data to show. Data speaks, right? So the data will speak, and you don't just say, give me grant, I can do this. You say, give me grant, I have done this. Because I have done it, I can expand it to this. So there is potential. Yeah.
Any other question? Yes, sir. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Ilorin. I want to respect for the resources. I want to the website and discover some really massive sources. Some were online, and then there are some pieces that requires the students able to guide the outcome. Some are implemented online. Some are holiday. Some will be online. See how to carry online. But in the case that still want to do all kinds of that.
International students don't have any option to do online. International students must be on campus to take classes. So anything online that you see does not apply to you unless you want to stay in every camp take classes. I didn't think you could.
Ask about our reporting from contact
So let's continue the discussion. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a great day, isn't it? So thank you for coming. For if you are one of the people groups to join us next week, going to be fine and really well. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. Otherwise, we'll continue on giving us a platform. All right, let's continue this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, the Director of Policy and Ideal Faculty of CDS, wonderful job in opening our minds up to see opportunities that are ahead of us. And very weekend, discussion, we appreciate your contribution, we appreciate your money. When people come out with the university, we love our country, we love our university. All the very language our university. See you later. Thanks so much. Good afternoon. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Next session. Come here to do that.